Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning from Massachusetts. I see some early birds here. Julia, Stunning Lad 1, and Saddam Mohammed. Hello to all of you. I'm going to do a quick check to make sure that we're good to go. You can give me a thumbs up or let me know that you can see me and hear me well. That would help. Let's do our usual tech check to make sure we are good to go for today. It looks good on my end. Whenever you see me look to the side, it means I'm looking to my laptop so I can see what you see and try to hear what you hear. Okay, wonderful to have you. I appreciate the early greetings, and Saddam, thank you for the flowers. It is spring. Can you believe it? Here in Massachusetts, we have 4 seasons. It is already spring, but you wouldn't believe it because, as you can see, I'm still dressed very warmly. The snow has melted, but it's still kind of cold here. It's a cloudy day. It doesn't feel quite like spring yet. So you can write where you are, how things are going. It's April and spring is slowly starting here. I need spring to get a little faster for me because spring usually gives me that spark of hope that new things are starting. That's how I feel. Do you feel the same way about the change of seasons or the start of a new month? Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for confirming. We have about an hour together. I have some fun things, interesting things, and useful things planned for you all. So stick around because we have lots to do together today. Cold there. Oh, my hippo's here. Hello, hello. Good to have you here. The usual folks. Now, something odd usually happens to my software, and I do apologize, but when I switch over to screen share, sometimes we lose the audio, but just bear with me. I've been able to get it back each and every time. Let's cross our fingers and see what happens. I'm going to start sharing my screen. As we do, you can also let me know what is something you look forward to in April. Right? It certainly helps to have something good to look forward to. There's always concerns and worries. I totally understand that. But if we hold on to the things that we want to do, the things that we look forward to, then the new month feels pretty good. I had an old friend text me yesterday about getting in touch and meeting because we haven't seen each other probably in a good year. So I look forward to seeing my friend this month. Yes, and I also have a trip planned later in the month with my daughter to visit my son. So I'm looking forward to that. What are you looking forward to, big or small? What are you looking forward to in April? Okay. All right. Switcheroo time. All right, look at that. I fixed it. She does learn. It looks like we're good to go. Again, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, look at that. I fixed it. You got to celebrate the small victories. You know, when you learn to do something and you get better at it, that's something to celebrate. More people are joining us. Welcome, welcome. Just right where you're from. I'd love to know where we're all from and how we're all connected. It's a beautiful thing. Today, we're going to focus on poetry. That's the main focus. Poetry to build vocabulary, poetry to improve pronunciation. If you've just joined me, then you'll soon discover I do like poems. If you've been with me for a while, you know this because I've read poems in live streams. I sometimes include them in lessons. So I do love poems for many reasons. Ultimately, they're a beautiful form of art, a beautiful form of expression. But it's good also in language learning because we can discover new words, we can practice our pronunciation, and it's meaningful. You always want to learn words and structures in a meaningful way so that you can understand and remember what it is that you're learning. Uganda, wow. Thanks for the confirmation, Stunning Lad One. I'm also going to be sharing ways that you can retain and master words. We always learn something new. The question is, can you retain it? Retain it means holding on to it and mastering the words, not just using it once and then you forget it. You have to use it and use it and use it to really make it part of your vocabulary. We have active and passive vocabulary. We all know more words than what we actually use. We have more passive vocabulary than active vocabulary, but that's something we can all work with. We all try to build more active vocabulary. And I'll tell you, it's an ongoing process. I work with different students. A lot of them are quite advanced, and I catch myself learning new things or correcting myself, especially with advanced words. When I think a word is said one way and then I hear it, I'm like, wait a second, maybe I've been saying it wrong. I think there's another way to say it. And I double check in the dictionary to see if there are two or more variations, or if indeed I've been saying it wrong in my mind because it's an academic word and I don't really speak with it. I usually read it. And so therefore, for years, I might be hearing the word wrong in my head. We can all work on our vocabulary skills. That's the point. Someone is here from Spain. Wonderful. Okay. And of course, I'll be sharing ways that you can continue studying with me. Sound good? Saddam says, nothing planned yet, but hopefully I'll be able to do some outdoor activities, right? Outdoor activities that I couldn't do recently because of the inclement weather. Learn from each other. That was a beautiful word and used correctly. Inclement. It's more formal. It's a good word to know. Do the rest of you know it? If not, note it down. Inclement. And you can guess from context. He didn't do activities earlier because of the inclement weather. You're thinking, okay, the weather did something to stop him. It interfered. That means it's a bad thing. So inclement weather is not good weather. It's not fair or favorable weather. It stopped him from doing things outside, right? Check out the comments and learn from each other. Wonderful. Oh, someone's wishing Happy Easter to all. Yes, to all celebrating. Happy Easter. Okay. Now, this is a good example. We just saw inclement. So what I'm going to share now is a tip. We are going to get into poetry, but I want you to have a way right now to start thinking about how you hold on, practice, and master new words. Some of you know that I continue to study Russian. I'm in my third year of Spanish now, but I'm still kind of a beginner. Yes, I am. I'm around A2. I'm still working on those past tense verbs and learning how to express ideas in the future. I'm getting there. I learn words in Spanish from my group classes, from one-on-one lessons, from reading. Sometimes I may turn on the news or I see something out in public because here we have signs in English and Spanish. So I try to read the Spanish a lot. When I was on the airplane for my conference, I made sure that I was reading the subtitles in Spanish so I can pick up words. Some I knew, some I didn't. The point is I learn words from different sources, but we need one place to capture them all, one place to note them down and practice. So I had the good fortune of meeting the creator of this wonderful new app called MiVoca. And I'm going to share right now this link, okay? This is an affiliate link, so you can all try this out for free. But if you really like it and want all the benefits, you want to try out all the features, you can use my code and you'll get a little discount. Isn't that nice? A discount. Discounts are good, right? You want that. So what you can do is practice your English or other languages you're practicing. I wrote down or I copied the different languages that are available on this MiVoca app. I'm personally using it for Spanish, but you could use it for English. Some of you might be studying French or German or Italian or another language, okay? So you can use it for different languages. And what I'd like to do now is show you what I'm doing with MiVoca. Again, as we learn new words through poetry today, the question is, how will you retain these words? Because seeing them once or twice with me is not enough. We got a word from one of your fellow learners today, inclement. You've now heard it a couple of times, inclement. You need multiple exposures, meaning you need to see it and hear it several times, and then you need to use it multiple times to really gain confidence with it. So now let me jump over here and I will wait to see that you can see this page. Give me a thumbs up if you see MiVoca. This is something you can use on your browser as I'm doing, or on your phone. I just like working on my computer a lot. I like a big screen, but you can use it on your phone. Oh, thank you for the support with my Spanish. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing well. Other times I feel like, whoo. It's a natural feeling in language learning to feel like, am I really making progress? But yes, you are. Sometimes we just don't realize it. So you have to keep putting in that daily effort and know that you will note the progress at some point. It's just not visible, or it's not something we can really see or understand every day, but it is happening. Okay? Okay, so thank you for confirming. So as you see, I've been using this for about 2-3 weeks now. I have 79 words saved. And yesterday I was talking with my tutor, and as we were reading and talking, more words came up. So even just from yesterday, I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words just from that lesson. So the fun thing is that you may hear a word, you're like, what's that? You can put it in and then get the translation, right? Or you want to say something and you don't know what that word is. So you can put it in English, in my case, or your native language, and then you can see what the translation is in the language that you're learning. That's how I've put these words in. So for example, here's a word I already know, but it's an example. I hear the word taza, I'm like, what's that? Right? Let's just imagine I don't know. So you could put that in and it will tell me what that word is in English. And it also, I could see if it has any other meanings. This is the tricky thing with vocabulary. Words can have multiple meanings. So you need to think about what is the context you heard or saw that word in, and then match it. Right now, I'm just going to click on these two. I don't think I need the other ones right away. I'm just going to use cup and mug because maybe that's the context I heard in. I heard cup of coffee, un taza de café, right? So I'm going to save it, and that goes in my list. Now I have 80 words to practice, okay? I can see example sentences, and if I already know this example well, I can generate a new one and get new examples. Isn't that cool, right? Now you could also hear the word pronounced. And when it's time to practice, you have a lot of options. I've been doing this, again, for about a couple weeks now. So you might review words. They give you about 5 at a time. I'll just show you really quickly. So I see a word, I can hear it, I have the example, and I'm thinking, do I know this word? Yes, it's improve, right? I'm like, okay, I think I know this one pretty well. I do, actually. I know that word, alma. I know this one from practicing. This means soul. Look at that. I know this one. Pantuflas. I don't remember the pronunciation. My gosh, I have to remember this one.
Pantuflas.
Pantuflas. I forgot where the stress was. So I'm going to say, yes, I know it, but I need to review that pronunciation. And you get the example, okay? So you go through a set of 5 or 9 words here. I can also then practice the sentences. So it takes that same set of words and it has me put them in sentences. And again, I get to decide, do I know this word well or not? I apologize, my computer's kind of slow right now, but it's generating sentence practice for me. There we go. I can look at this and think, do I know which word goes in there? If I don't know, I can show the translation, but I'm going to test my memory and think about, what are we doing? Taking, grabbing, right? Yay, right? Oh, pudding. Ugh, so I mixed it up, but I knew it's something about taking or putting. You get the idea. So you can go through this set and keep practicing. The other cool features I really enjoy is you can then read them in stories and dialogues, and you can decide, do you want the story or dialogue to be funny, dramatic, surprising? If you don't like this version, you can generate a new one. I can listen and I can read along. I also might be reading and think, wait a second, there's another word that I don't know. So if there's something I don't know, I could translate that word and add it to my list as well. So even though the blue words are my target words, I can also learn other words as I'm reading. But I've already told them that I'm A2, I'm elementary, so they shouldn't be giving me too many hard words. The dialogue is similar in that you can generate a dialogue that's descriptive, funny, dramatic, surprising. Again, you will learn new words today from the poems. How will you practice those words? In a story, in a dialogue, or both? I can listen, and then I can also play along, right? I can read along to this dialogue. And when I'm ready to practice my own pronunciation, I can listen, record myself, right? And then also decide how my own pronunciation is. So I might listen to this word,
Travesía.
travesía, and I'll record myself, travesía, travesía. I think I did a pretty good job. I'm going to say I know that somewhat, and you get the idea. Okay, so that's all. That's the demonstration I'll give you because I'm using this and because I like it, I wanted to share it with you. Okay, so MiVoca, you can start for free and practice the vocabulary. And it's a good way to store all those words that you keep coming across. Okay, and again, if you want to try out all the features, you can get a discount, a $5 discount. So thumbs up if you think you want to practice vocabulary in a more systematic, organized way. If so, try it out. It's working for me so far. I hope it works for you. Okay? Woohoo! Now we get into the poems. Breath. Poems. Oh, you guys are giving me Spanish practice there. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I could definitely increase I can zoom in. If I didn't think about zooming in for you, I apologize, but you get the idea, okay? I will zoom in now so you can see this more easily. How about that? Okay, here we go. I selected 2 poems for you today. And these poems are very beautiful. They have special meaning. I hope you will discover that as well. The first one is by Emily Dickinson. Has anyone heard her name before? Emily Dickinson. She was an American poet. So I wrote that she was born in December 10th, 1830, and she died May 15th, 1886, right? So didn't have too long of a life, but think about what you can do, right? Short or long, you can leave some beautiful things behind. What will you create? What will you leave behind? Emily Dickinson left behind some beautiful poems for us to read in 2026. This one is called A Light Exists in Spring. Okay. I'm going to read it first, just so that you hear it. Then we'll look at vocabulary. We'll practice vocabulary, we'll talk about the meaning of this poem, and we'll read it once more for pronunciation. Okay? Listen first. A Light Exists in Spring by Emily Dickinson. A light exists in spring, not present on the year, at any other period, when March is scarcely here. A color stands abroad on solitary fields that science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. It waits upon the lawn. It shows the furthest tree Upon the furthest slope, you know, it almost speaks to you. Then, as horizons step, or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes, and we stay. A quality of loss affecting our content, as trade has suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. Hope you feel, even if you don't understand every word yet, do you feel the meaning of the poem? A light exists in spring. You say increase the volume. Try turning up on your end. I don't think. Can everyone else hear me well? I'll move on unless I hear from everyone that you cannot hear me. Okay. Vocabulary. Scarcely, solitary, slope, content, and encroach. Okay. I noted the parts of speech. That's always something important. When you learn a new word, make sure you know the part of speech. Noun, verb, adjective, adverb. What is it? Okay. Scarcely, barely, hardly. So let's go back up to look at scarcely. When March is scarcely here, what does that mean? When March is scarcely here, barely here. So is this early spring or late spring? When March is scarcely here, think about it, right? Thank you for the Winona Ryder comment. It always amuses me. March is scarcely here. To me, it sounds like it's the start, but you could argue otherwise. The wonderful thing about poems is that we're left to interpret them. We can't have a conversation with the author, or the poet, the narrator of the poem. We have to listen and then understand what the meaning is for ourselves. Yes. Okay, scarcely. So when March is barely or hardly here. So either March is just beginning or it's ending. I interpret this as it's just the beginning. Solitary means alone, single, and separate. How was it used? Solitary fields. So there's this sense of individual fields. Like it's not connected. They're alone. They're separate, solitary fields. Or maybe you're alone. Again, interpretation, solitary fields. When you're in those fields, perhaps it's a solitary experience. You're alone. You're separate. Slope is not flat ground. It's a hill, basically, that goes up or down. A slope. If you ski, you know about slopes. Upon the furthest slope, you know. Upon the furthest hill, you know. So it is referring to a color stands. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's spring. It waits upon the lawn, it shows the furthest tree. Upon the furthest slope, you know, it almost speaks to you. It's nature. Nature is there. It's everywhere when we look. It's on the hills, it's in the trees, right? It speaks to us. Content. Watch the stress. The stress is right here. Content. Similar to contentment, it refers to satisfaction. Content. There are different, not too many, to our heart's content, to one's heart content, like to your satisfaction. But a quality of loss affecting our content. So when spring passes and it goes, and that beautiful period ends, right? The start of spring, the arrival, the hope, and then it passes. There's this loss because it doesn't last for long. It doesn't last forever. and it affects our content, our feeling of satisfaction. Okay. And finally, encroach. Encroach. Also, the stress is on the second syllable. Encroach. Encroach, move beyond the usual limits. Use more of something than one should. So it's about going and moving and taking. So here, this is an important part of the poem. In poems, we don't have paragraphs, we have stanzas. In this last stanza, there's this line about trade. Trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. Trade is like business, right? Business, commerce, the world of activity, the human world, all our activity, had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. Someone noted, I think Stunning Lad 1, that sacrament is something holy. We don't necessarily have to be religious here, but isn't nature at its core, it's something so beautiful, right? Nature is beautiful, it's valuable, it's precious, almost holy. It is special when you receive it, when you experience it. So imagine you're experiencing this moment out there in nature and you see it, right? In the furthest tree, on the furthest slope, it speaks to you. And then what happens? It passes. That moment of oneness with nature passes. It affects our content, and that human world of activity and business and all the things that we do every day, it encroached upon a sacrament. It comes into that space. So we can create that space, where we appreciate nature, we connect with nature, especially at the arrival of spring, and then a trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. Good question. Affect. So this one is with an A. Affecting our content. Can you tell if that's being used as a verb or a noun? A quality of loss, affecting our content. Why are we using A and not affecting, right? So someone's asking about affect and effect. This is with an A. You can see from the grammar, this is the subject. What is affecting our satisfaction, our content? Subject, verb, object. This is a verb. So if it affects our feelings, it influences, it has an impact. So here we're using this as a verb. If something affects your feeling of satisfaction, that's an A-F-F-E-C-T. Effect is the result, the outcome, right? Good effects, bad effects. Think of special effects in movies, right? It's what people create on the screen for us, right? Effect. So this is a verb. It's about influencing, having an impact. And again, I would suggest if you have MiVoca, you can put in affect with an A and effect. They sound the same, but effect, effect with an E in there, and practice those words. Look at examples, put them in dialogues, put them in stories, because you need to see them in multiple contexts for it to really make sense. You heard my explanation, but you need to see these words now in other contexts. You're seeing it in a poem. Why not see it in a story, in a dialogue, in some example sentences in MiVoca? Okay. I think some of you can also help your fellow learner and put your own example with affect and effect, A and E. Some of you advanced learners with me today can help out by putting your example. Give me an example of affect with an A as a verb and effect as a noun. Okay? Good, Julia, thank you. It has a profound effect on our mental well-being. Good. Saddam, furthest and farthest. I agree. Technically, Far is about distance, right? That's why we say furthermore. Do you know that advanced transition? Furthermore has nothing to do with distance. It's about degree or amount. So further is extent. Like, let's talk about this further. Let's talk about this more. Technically, I think, yes, it should be like AR, but the poet wrote it with a U, furthest tree. The truth is, sometimes we do use them somewhat interchangeably, and people don't really care too much. We understand the meaning in context, but technically, there is a difference. So again, with MiVoca, you can put in farther for distance, FAR, and further for extent. And also that more advanced transition word, furthermore, right? It means like in addition, furthermore, or moreover, they're similar. The ing in affecting is used to represent temporary action, affecting. Or it again, it could also be seen as a process, a quality of loss that affects our content, a quality of loss affecting our content. Here, you could also see it as a reduced clause, a quality of loss which affects our content, affecting our content. Landing a lucrative job affects our mental fitness. Thank you, Julia. Affects our mental fitness. Nice. All right. So we saw scarcely, solitary, slope, content, and encroach. Exercise time. Let me see if I scroll like that. Is it too small or can you see it? If I need to zoom, I will. Maybe I'll just do I'll do 3 at a time. How about that? I don't want to make it too small. Some people are on phones. 1, 2, and 3. Take a moment and tell me, of these words in orange, where do they fit in? I'll give you a moment to read to yourself. Thank you, Mahippa. You could say that live streams have a positive effect on your studies, in which case you can use an E, a positive effect, a negative effect. Those are common phrases with the E, FFECT. Live streams are opportunities to study together. They have a positive effect on your studies. Okay, I'll be quiet. Okay, Julia and Fernanda have gotten us started. She preferred to take a walk through the woods, enjoying the silence and her own thoughts. She's alone. Therefore, it's a solitary walk, right? A solitary walk. Let's put that here. Solitary walk, like those solitary fields, right? You could see it as like the fields are separate, but I don't think that's necessarily what Emily Dickinson meant. I think that you being there in nature and not being around all these other people is a solitary experience. So when you're on the fields, it's like a solitary field. That's how I understand it. Okay, Mahippo, Stunning Lad 1 is saying 2 is scarcely. Let's see how that fits. Because scarcely ends in ly, we need an adverb. How do we notice? Scarcely notice, hardly notice, barely notice. At first, the signs of spring are so subtle, right, so small or faint, that we can scarcely notice the changes in the light and air. Subtle might be a new word. You put it in MiVoca. S-U-B-T-L-E. B is silent. Subtle. Subtle is very weak and small, and it's not very strong and vivid. It's faint. You have to really pay attention to see it. And 3, what are you guys saying? I'm trying to see your long username. Is Jillian your first name? Jillian, 8151. Slope. I think your other fellow learners agree with you. Slope. Think of the skiers who hit the slopes. They went to ski on hills, right? This is a gentle slope, so a gentle hill. It's not very steep. The opposite of a steep hill is a gentle slope. We walked up a gentle slope and stopped to admire how the sunlight touched the tops of the trees. Very good. We have not used encroach or content. Encroach and content. So look at number 4 and 5. Encroach and content. Good. Stunning Lad 1 gave us a synonym, incline, slope. And this is where MiVoca can also help. Some of you advanced learners, you know hill. You're pretty comfortable with slope and incline. Maybe incline might be new for you. How do we use these 3 words? How can they be different? MiVoca, again, can help by giving you specific examples. I would suspect that slope might be used in a skiing context, for example, right? Incline might be used more in an engineering context. Okay, Fernanda, Stunning Lad 1, Mohammed, Julia, everyone's putting their answers in. Felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Contentment or content is a synonym. Make sure you get the stress correct, right? Not content, but content. Content. For a brief moment, she felt a deep sense of content, as if everything in the world was exactly as it should be. Oh, isn't that a beautiful feeling? Sometimes we have those moments where just things seem good. They seem right. It surely doesn't feel that way all the time, but when you have that moment, you have to hold it and value it and just really appreciate that feeling of content. When you have it, hold on to it, right? It's not always there, I know. Okay, and the last one, as the season continues, the noise and activity of daily life begin to encroach on that quiet, peaceful feeling. Similar to the poem, right? So you have this peace, content. But then noise and activity of daily life encroach on that. It comes in and it takes space in your mind, in your spirit. It encroaches on your content. It encroaches on that feeling of peace. It happens. Yes? Yes. Content, contentment. I think they're synonyms. That's how I feel as well. Content, contentment. Satisfaction, content, contentment. Peace, inner peace, well-being. There's a lot of words that can substitute here. Okay. Oh, good Julia. Gave us a good collocation. Take a look at her example. A slippery slope is a good collocation. It's actually an idiom. A slippery slope, right? You're going to fall down. It means you have to be very careful and delicate with what you say and do, because you just start falling down and getting into more trouble sometimes with certain situations or topics like politics, right? Politics is a slippery slope. Stunning Lad 1 says, I am content. A feeling of contentment. Yes, beautiful. Okay, say the words one more time with me. Let's put them in your brain. Say with me, scarcely, solitary, slope, content, encroach. For some of you, sacrament might be new, but I didn't teach that as an active word. You can know it passively, just something holy. Okay, in the context of religion, it's like a ritual, a ceremony, a holy ceremony. Okay, all right. Let me go back. I want to read it one more time, but I want you to think of these 3 questions as I read. Okay, are there things in nature that science cannot measure or explain? How can nature speak to humans? What kinds of things in nature last for a short time? I'm going to copy this. I know it's not going to look that good in the comments, but I want you to see what I see. So I'm putting those questions in the comments, okay? And I'm going to scroll back, and as I read the poem, some ideas might come to you. If you're watching the recording, you can then pause after I read the poem and answer those 3 questions. What ideas come to you? A light exists in spring. If you want, you can read along with me. A light exists in spring, not present on the year, at any other period, when March is scarcely here. A color stands abroad on solitary fields that science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. It waits upon the lawn, it shows the furthest tree. Upon the furthest slope, you know, it almost speaks to you. Then as horizons step or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes and we stay. A quality of loss affecting our content, as trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. Okay. Most poems have a rhythm, a meter. You can feel that beat. And we try to keep it as we read. Whether you're reading faster or slower than me, the rhythm is there. A light exists in spring. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Not present on the year. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. At any other period, when March is scarcely here. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So when you read, I would encourage you, read, right? Record yourself. See if you can hear the rhythm. You practice, you'll get it, right? You have my model. Again, dun, da, dun, da, dun. A color stands abroad on solitary fields that science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. If you read and feel that drum inside of you, that beat, it helps, right? It waits upon the lawn. It shows the furthest tree. Upon the furthest slope, you know, it almost speaks to you. Then as horizons step or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes and we stay. A quality of loss affecting our content, as trade had suddenly encroached upon a sacrament. All right? So there are my questions. We'll pause for a moment and see if anybody wants to share some ideas. Oh, Fernanda, I'm glad you're joining for the first time. Okay, let's see what you got up. Julia, generally speaking, nature brings us a sense of contentment and peace of mind. Yes. And science might give you like an answer to a question, but is it really peace in the soul and in the spirit? It's different, isn't it? Yeah? Science cannot measure the oh my gosh, you're using big words, pulchritude? That's another word I don't say. Are you using a dictionary of the spring and the joy it brings? Okay. Another dictionary I do like, by the way, the favorite one I have on mine is Merriam-Webster. So MiVoca is good, right? You can get the examples, you can get the practice. I do have Merriam-Webster on my phone. Okay, so let's put in Saddam's impressive vocabulary here. and we'll all put it together. Whatever app, I hope you have a dictionary app, at least one on your phone. If not, choose one, get one. MiVoca is one with translations. I also encourage you to have one dictionary without translations, okay? So especially those of you who are more advanced, okay? What do we have? I sometimes need my glasses. I should wear them more often. How many of you wear glasses? Blue light glasses, do you wear those?
Pulchritude. Pulchritude.
Pulchritude. I was doing pool, but it's Paul. I had to check. Is it Paul or pool? See, I have to check too. With these advanced words, in context, I understand, but I don't use this word. It is not for everyday English.
Pulchritude.
Pulchritude. Physical comeliness. Pulchritude. If you have some fancy words, you can put them in every so often, but one of my tips is do not overload your speech with high academic words because you're going to lose your listener. They'll be like, what? Right? You can throw one or two in every so often, but if you overload your speech or your writing with high-level words, it's going to be hard for people, the average person, to follow along. Nature speaks to us through the seasons. I love that statement, Stunning Lad 1. My hippo writes, things in nature last for a short time. Oh, that was Stunning Lad 1. My hippo. Science is based on facts, but humans can feel something that is starting, but still can't see yet. Oh, that's so insightful. I love it, right? Our body, our spirit, we feel things, even if we can't measure them or prove them. That's spirit, that's nature. Science can measure, but the way that we feel with our heart and our soul, right? Our spirit, that's different. I like what Ma Hippo writes. Beautiful. Saddam, it doesn't speak directly to humans. Oh my gosh, you're throwing in lots of words, aren't you? What? Soliloquies? Us. Yeah. You could say it transmits, might be a more accessible word. It transmits its meaning otherwise, right? Or use the word subtle from before. It sends, conveys, transmits subtle messages, right? So you can use your fancy words sometimes, but you're going to lose a lot of people with that high level. Take it down just one level is my suggestion. Transmit, convey, those are good, accessible words in a subtle way, okay? Oh my gosh, you guys are having like dictionary fun here. I have never used the OUS form. Stunning Lad 1, I'm not going to attempt right now. Pulchritude, so pulchritudeness. I will have to go back and try to say that one. I wonder does Merriam-Webster even list that one? Oh my gosh, it does.
Pulchritudenous.
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 Pulchritudenous. So there's you go. So if there's a word that's hard for me to say, I definitely need to say it at least 3 times. Pulchritudenous. That's a big one, guys. You're teaching me today. Julia, nature speaks volumes to humans, and it goes a long way to explain, in a short manner, perhaps. I'd say, Julia, you're missing a noun, but I get your meaning. It speaks volumes to us. I'd use the S, meaning a lot. It speaks volumes to us, and it goes a long way to explain in a short amount of time, perhaps, or a short manner. Okay. I did have 2 poems. Let's see if we can move along and include that second poem in the final 10 minutes. Think more about this, okay? We read A Light Exists in Spring a few times. I also highly encourage you to read again, as I said, and record yourself, guys. Practice today, read it aloud. Practice every day. You have my model, and record after 6 or 7 days and compare the recordings. I also want you to have a connection to this poem. So again, after this live stream, think some more about these 3 questions. And if you want to share a personal connection like I did, go ahead, put it in the comments. I wrote that I appreciate all 4 seasons, but late spring and early fall are my favorite times of the year. I love the colors I get to see. What is your favorite season? Okay. Think about these questions. Make your personal connection. Read the poem. Practice the poem. Put those words into whatever system you have. If you do not have a system, again, I'm encouraging you to try MiVoca. Okay, try it for free. If you want to upgrade, you have my affiliate code for a discount. Okay? Woo! Love it. Let's go on. The next poem is shorter. Okay? I'll show you how short it is by scrolling out. Okay? So we have time for this one. I chose another American poet, Sarah Teasdale. Has anyone heard her name before? Sarah Teasdale. Thank you for the phonetic spelling, girl. Okay. Sarah Teasdale was an American poet. She was born on August 8th, 1884. She died January 29th, 1933. And she too has left her poems behind for us to enjoy in 2026. Her poem is entitled Peace. Listen. Peace flows into me as the tide to the pool by the shore. It is mine forevermore. It ebbs not back like the sea. I am the pool of blue that worships the vivid sky. My hopes were heaven high. They are fulfilled in you. I am the pool of gold when the sunset burns and dies. You are my deepening skies. Give me your stars to hold. A lot of poems have a rhyme scheme. Not all poems have rhyme, but a lot do. Right? Here you can pick up the pattern. Me, see, shore, more. So we have A, B, B, A, right? We use letters to talk about the rhyme scheme. Here we have, again, oo, you, I. So this would be A, B, C, D, D, C. Get it? Because now we have different sounds, but it's basically the same kind of pattern. And it holds here. Gold, hold, die, skies. The rhyme also creates that musical quality. What is she saying? Well, first you have to understand these words. Tide, shore, ebb, and vivid. Another tip is knowing what a word means doesn't mean you've mastered it. Make sure you can say it. Make sure you understand how it's used. Know the parts of speech and in what contexts, what situations you can use these words. Again, an app like MiVoca can help you. Tide is the movement of the ocean, right? The tide comes in. It can be high or low, high tide, low tide. Shore is noun. It's like the beach or the coast. Again, if these words you understand, but you want to have more differences made clear to you, you need to study these words. But shore is like beach and coast. Ebb is a verb flowing in and out. So the tide, right? We can also talk about the ebb and flow of the tide, the water. And vivid is an adjective. It means strong and clear. Tide. How is tide used here? The tide to the pool by the shore, right? So she's making a comparison. Peace is like the water, the ocean water. It flows toward the shore. But here's an interesting contrast. It ebbs not back like the sea. So the ocean goes forward and back, to and from. But peace flows, and it doesn't have to go away. It can stay. Isn't that nice? It ebbs not back like the sea. So we have tide, shore, and ebb there. And the last word is vivid. How did she use it? The vivid sky, right? I am the pool of blue that worships the vivid sky. She's calling our attention to visual elements of nature, right? The vivid sky, the bright sky, strong and clear sky, vivid, vivid. I want to read once more now that you've heard these words. Listen to the rhyme, listen for the rhythm, and then we'll talk more about the vocabulary and the meaning. Listen once more. Peace. Peace flows into me as the tide to the pool by the shore. It is mine forevermore. It ebbs not back like the sea. I am the pool of blue that worships the vivid sky. My hopes were heaven high. They are fulfilled in you. I am the pool of gold. When the sunset burns and dies, you are my deepening skies. Give me your stars to hold. Don't you love poetry? Oh, put some thumbs up or hearts for poetry. Emily Dickinson and Sarah Teasdale, thank you for leaving your poems with us. Okay, say with me these new words. Tide, shore, ebb, vivid. If you need to practice them, I'm telling you today, put them in MiVoca. Sign up for the free form and put these words in. Practice them, okay? I would say maybe not a dialogue, put them in a story. A story would be a good way to practice these words. Okay, we have a 4-sentence quiz here. Let me see if I can, is this too small? I'll do 2 at a time. How about that? Or 3. We'll do 3 and I'll hold on to number 4. Ebb, shore, tide, and vivid. I need your help. Please tell me where they go. Go ahead. Sorry. Yes, compulsory, good word. It's not obligated, it's not required. Compulsory, good word. Hey, Manuel showed up. Hi, Manuel. Fernanda, I'm glad you like the poem. Yes, poems do not necessarily have to rhyme. I had to check that one, if there's more than one variation. Stunning Lad 1, echelon. Echelon, the higher echelon of poets. If you're seeing fancy words from your fellow learners, note them down. Guess from context what they mean, right? The higher echelon would be there's multiple meanings, but the group of individuals at a particular level within a field or an activity, right? Echelon, the higher echelon. Okay. Ebbs and flows. Yes, Stunning Lad 1. Thank you for pointing that out. The ebb and flow. That's a good phrase. It's a collocation. The ebb and flow. It goes, flowing is out, ebb is coming back in. Okay. She stood quietly on the, yes, you guys got it. You're good. Give yourselves a star or a thumbs up or a celebration sticker. I said sticky. Oh. She stood quietly on the shore and listened to the gentle movement of the water. 2, you guys said tide. I agree. We need a noun. The sound of the waves grew softer as the tide began to move away from the land. Again, we have high tide and low tide. 3, you guys agreed, vivid. We needed an adjective. Right? So this is also a wonderful phrase to learn, vivid detail. Even years later, he could recall the moment in vivid detail, as if it had just happened, which means the word we did not use is ebb. How is that going to fit in here? Stunning Lad 1 gave us a hint with the ebb and flow. Like the ocean, her worries seemed to ebb and flow, never staying the same for long. The ebb and flow. We can use that poetically, meaning not literally like water, but peace can ebb and flow. Content can ebb and flow. Our worries can ebb and flow, right? They come, they go, they increase, they decrease. Good phrase, Stunning Lad 1, the higher echelon of society. Well, Saddam and everybody else, you guys are working together today. Oh, I thought Manuel was here. Manuel, say hi if you're here. If not, we're thinking of you. One of our regulars. Again, I'll put these here also in, whoopsies, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do this. There we go. Oh, if they're limiting me. Okay, well, let me do this. Boop. Boop. There's number 3. Okay. So 3 questions after the recording. If you have time to reflect after the live stream and you want to reflect some more and share your thoughts, these are my questions, right? When you have a poem, especially as you're learning vocabulary or you're reading a poem, reading a text, you want it to have meaning. You want to understand it. You want to connect to what the author is writing, react to it. So the first question, peace is a state or a feeling. How does the speaker describe the movement of peace? Hint. Who is the speaker talking to? What do you think their relationship is? And if it's a person, how does the speaker feel about this person? I will tell you, I've looked at the analysis. Different people have looked at this poem and interpreted it differently. The question is, when she says, or the narrator says, you, is that a person or not? When I first read this poem, I felt like it was a person, but perhaps it's not. You can interpret this different ways. Oh, hearts for those ladies. Okay. And your personal connection. All right. Name someone whose company fills you with peace. Do you think you bring that kind of peace to them? Right? Someone might, we talk about peace ebbing and flowing, but when you're with a certain person or in the company of certain people, it flows more easily, right? It doesn't ebb and flow. It's a constant feeling of content when you're with certain people you love and care about, right? Make that personal connection. Again, I'm encouraging you to record the poem. Record it today, practice, and at the end of 6 or 7 days, compare the 2 recordings. We'll do a final reading and then we'll be ending, okay? Think about the rhythm. Some people feel that the poets often create a rhythm that goes along with the theme. Like if there's an ebb and flow, can you feel that in the rhythm? To and fro, up and down, back and forth. You might feel that. Keep in mind the rhyme scheme as well. Okay? You can read along with me. I'll read slowly. Peace. Peace flows into me as the tide to the pool by the shore. It is mine forevermore. It ebbs not back like the sea. I am the pool of blue that worships the vivid sky. My hopes were heaven high. They are fulfilled in you. I am the pool of gold. When the sunset burns and dies, you are my deepening skies. Give me your stars to hold. Do you feel that both have this appreciation of nature, right? Appreciation for what it gives us, how beautiful it is, right? Our connection with nature. Both poets, I feel, had a strong connection to nature. Okay? We have new vocabulary. I encourage you to make use of MiVoca and store those words and practice them. Okay? I'm also going to remind you, let me scroll here and I'll tell you, these 2 poems are part of a collection. They are. And you can have them. I did record 15 full poems, including these. And if you wish, you can visit my Patreon shop because I have the poems written out. They're in the public domain, so you can find copies, yes. But I also include vocabulary, notes, and reflection questions. And I offer 2 recordings. I feel they both have a purpose. I have readings with music, so you can just listen and enjoy. But I also have, MP3s of my readings without music, so that you can listen and repeat. Okay, that link is there. So if you want to read poems with me, there's a way to read poems with me, 15 of them. Actually, some of them are mine. When I get in a mood, doesn't happen too often, I wrote some poems of my own that are in that collection. Okay, so we covered reading to build vocabulary, to build fluency. I'm encouraging you to check out MiVoca. The link is there. Try the free version. Just check it out. See how it works on your phone and your computer. If you want all the features that I talked about, plus more, I didn't show you absolutely everything, you can get $5 off. Okay, so that's for you. Members, you will get more practice with the vocabulary after this live stream ends. I will post it on the community tab. To those current members who've joined me today, thank you. To those members who helped me choose the topic for today, thank you. And if you're not a member on YouTube, it's just a single dollar, 99 cents to join, and you get some fun perks for 99 cents a month. I try to offer as much as I can. You got the MiVoca app for vocabulary. You got the poetry, and that's a digital bundle if you really want to practice through meaningful works of art, poetry. And I'm telling you, as a member, you can get more practice today with the vocabulary. And finally, I always remind you, if you really want to go the distance, join me. Join me in a place where you can turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and where we have live Q&A sessions, and I am not the one talking for 60 minutes or more. And that's on Patreon, folks. The link will be in the video description. Okay, this month we're going to talk about vocabulary, going beyond basic words. There are already some free posts for free members on Patreon, but my lifelong learners will be going beyond basic vocabulary, and we'll have 2 classes on April 10th and 17th. Okay, I hope you can join me there. Let me go back to my webcam, wind down. We're 8 minutes past the hour. I hope that you can hear me well and see me well. You're a poet and you know it. Yep. Give a try. I'm asking, just try out the free version, guys. Try out the free version of MiVoca. See how it works. See if that's enough for you. If not, you need to upgrade to really get the most you can out of it, and you get a discount. Okay. If you don't use MiVoca, find a way to practice otherwise. You need a way, a vocabulary notebook, something to store the words that you're picking up throughout the week, and a way to practice them, and review these words. There are other ways, but MiVoca is a nice way that I'm testing out right now with my Spanish. Okay? Lots of practice everywhere. Okay? Thank you for staying with me. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you in May. Thank you, everyone. Take care.